So we'll see how much that really affects it. But we do know that both teams, again, come in at 1-2. A couple of tough losses here in district play. And the team, I think, who wants more, like you said, playoff atmosphere, puts themselves in a position to have a possibility of getting into that, sneaking into that playoffs, you know.
And both these teams had a couple of very close losses to some very good competition, as I believe it took all the way until a defensive touchdown for Harlingen to take the lead on Rivera a few weeks ago. And then, of course, Harlingen South, the last game that we covered, went all the way, or one of their last games that we covered, went all the way until a special teams mishap for them. So they've had a couple of losses. Both these teams are competitive in this district, and both have a shot at winning that final spot for the playoffs.
Definitely. And Rivera, we talked about having some good competition, playing Sheridan earlier in the year. Didn't lose that bad to them, and so they've got some good experience coming into here. So again, welcome to Boga Stadium and Harlingen High School South Sports, and Aaron Saenz here along with Jonathan Medina. And this game between the Hawks and the Raiders tonight will be aired on Harlingen CISD's TV station KHGN, cable channel 17. Will be available for streaming on YouTube. And so we just want to remind you, pictures and all kinds of media will be available on the website later on. Here we go. Harlingen South kicking off. Wind is at their back. And this ball is going to go. It'll be a touchback. Good kick there for Harlingen South.
Good kick right there by Harlingen South. Like you said, the wind is in their back. So the ball does land at about the 2-yard line and then rolls to the back of the end zone, as the Rivera player was not able to get there in time to put a return on it.
Well, you know, we talked about earlier about a special teams victory a couple weeks ago against the Hawks, and how special teams are so crucial. So I do believe that special teams are going to be critical tonight. I'm calling that early on because I do believe we have two very evenly matched teams on the field tonight.
Yes, two very evenly matched teams, just as you said. It will be a great game to watch as we see the offense for the Rivera team does come out. They have several tall-looking players on their offense, so we'll be looking to see what kind of playmaking ability they have.
And Danny Elizondo, number 13, will be the starting quarterback for the Raiders. He goes under center, looks to his right. He's going to go out passing right away. Pressure up the middle, sack! Big-time sack for Harlingen South.
Yes, that was number 21, Javier Olvera, getting the pressure right down the middle. It looked like there was just a miscommunication. Here we watch the replay. There's 4 down linemen up front, and he just comes late on a delayed blitz right down the middle as the center and guard were both occupied with the defensive tackle.
Yeah, the Olvera came pretty much untouched right up the middle of that offensive line there. So that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 22. Ball is pushed all the way back to the 13-yard line of the Rivera Raiders. So they'll go to work here. We're just at above 11 minutes to go in the first quarter. Just getting started. Thank you for joining us live audio here at valleycentral.com. I formation, handoff to the running back. There will be maybe a couple yards to gain, not much. It's going to bring up a long 3rd down.
Yes, a long 3rd down right there. They take a safe run play. It looked like Harlingen South was expecting it, as almost everyone was right up in the first 2 yards, or within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage, and we see Sheneman bring him down, along with a lot more Harlingen South defensive players.
And keep your ear out for Sheneman. He runs fullback as well on the offensive side of the ball for the Hawks. A lot of their key players going both ways. Will that be a factor tonight? 3rd down, calling it 21 yards to go. Ball on the 14 now. Rivera Raiders in tight I formation. And they'll hand off to the tailback. Tailback getting up inside the box there, but only gain of about 2 yards. And that's the tailback. That's number 17, Daniel Rueda.
And here we see as the pulling guard and number 34, that's Sheneman, he hits the pulling guard right away, and so it forces the back to cut back inside, and then Sheneman's able to break off from his block and make the tackle. We saw them come out. They came out in an empty set. I thought they were going to play very aggressive. Yeah. They get sacked, and it results in 2 very safe plays right after that.
Yeah, they do just run tight I formation, run the ball. Not much doing there. So 4th down, the punt. Low snap, picked up though. End over end punt. It's going to be a very short punt. The ball is just getting past the original 1st down marker, and the Raiders will down it at the 43-yard line. So Harlingen South Hawks, 43 yards to work with, not a whole lot. And they've got some steam coming with the wind at their backs now. And so this offense gets a gift from the Rivera Raiders.
Very short field for them, as that punt only went about 24 yards between the line of scrimmage to where it landed. Of course, they had gone so far back on their possession that it almost results in what would be the original 1st down.
1st down and 10 now for the Hawks, and they will be at the 42-yard line. So only 42 yards to go before that goal line. And Jimmy Morton, the junior quarterback, number 7 for the Hawks, probably tallest guy on the field, and he's got, it looks like Alec Garza, they're running out of running back, who's been running receiver all season. Shifts him over to his right-hand side. He has 2 receivers that side also. And on the first down, they give it to Garza. Garza slips the tackle in the backfield, but he still will have a loss of about maybe a foot or two on that play. It'll bring up a second and maybe 11.
Great play right there by number 51, Albert Segura. He does not make the tackle, but he gets initial penetration, slowing down the runner enough time for his teammate number 7, that's Christopher Gaudet, making the final tackle. They cannot allow penetration like that to happen. They have the pulling guard coming, and he went right through that gap where the pulling guard left. So the inside linemen, they have to fill that gap in order to clean up for the positive run play.
Followed him right up that gap. Here you go. Morton's going to pass to slot receiver number 1. Gets outside space to run, but tackled from behind. That's going to be number 1 on the reception, Bobby Castro. Gain of about 4, maybe 5.
Good play right there by number 20 of the defense. That's Victor Melkor. As he chases him down, it looked like he was going to get the edge for big yardage, as the other 2 receivers were blocking well downfield, but he just chases him down, makes the tackle. So now it'll be 3rd and about 6 for these Harlingen Hawks.
On the 38-yard line. Under 9 minutes left to go here in this first quarter. Clock going quickly. Here we go. Jimmy Morton shotgun formation now. They're going to look to spread it out. He rolls right. He lets it go. Slot receiver number 11 again at the 20, the 15. Be pushed out at the 10-yard line. That's number 11, Darren Perez, on a huge hookup from the pass by Jimmy Morton.
And here we see, I was wondering if there was going to be 4-down territory as the ball was right in that zone, but no need, as he gets the catch and just takes it up the field, showing his quickness. Nice burst out of number 11, Perez, right there, as once he caught it, he went upfield in a hurry, and he gets them all the way into the red zone up until about the 11-yard line.
And we've seen that play run over and over and over again this season here at Bogus Stadium by the Harlingen South Hawks, and Perez has really been able to make something happen out of all the slot receivers. He's able to get that in the outside, and he has some speed to burn around the edge. They're going to spread it out again now. 1st and 10. Call it 1st and goal, really. Morton looking right, left, pressure, lets it fly, and it's going to be caught in the end zone, but we have a flag on the field, and so hold that celebration for a moment.
Rivera they did have about 6 rushing right there as they put on the blitz, and they leave their secondary with a lot of one-on-ones. Morton is able to hit him, but it looks like South does get the touchdown right there, as it wasn't offside.
Penalty is declined.
They were rushing 6, and one of them was just offsides. And so the touchdown will stand for Harlingen South. They take the lead 6-0. We are waiting for the extra point.
And what a wonderful pass that was by Jimmy Morton. He wanted to go right. He felt pressure, looked to his left, and hit his slot receiver streaking over the middle of the play there, and was able to get that touchdown. Waiting for that flag, didn't get too excited, but once they found out that was a offside and declined, the touchdown was good. So now the extra point is good as well, and it's 7-0 as the Harlingen South Hawks were able to take a gift. Only 42 yards to work with before they were to get a score. They made it happen. That's what happens when you take advantage of gifts that the other team gives you.
Yeah, right there we see the offense for Harlingen South. They come out. It looks like the run was struggling just a little bit, but the passing game for Harlingen worked well right there as South takes it all the way into the end zone. That last play, he was one-on-one streaking right down the middle. He beats the defender. Easy pass and catch for Harlingen South, finishing off the drive with a touchdown.
They looked really good right there in that opening drive. Of course, when you have 42 yards to work with, man, you get excited. you can taste blood, if you will. You know that you're close, and so they're able to capitalize and do a great job right there. Just want to take a moment here as we're getting the kicking team onto the field to thank our school board members, who include Greg Powers, Dr. Nolan Perez, Verna Young, Jerry Fourier, George McShann, Javier De Leon, Dr. Bobby Muniz, and a big thank you to our superintendent of schools, Dr. Art Cavazos. Thank you so much for all that you do for these students, student athletes, performing arts, and especially for our KHDN team here, our student team, doing an excellent job on all the cameras and making this broadcast happen tonight. So Harlingen South not going to be kicking off. Again, the wind is at their back early on, which means they'll have it against them at the end of the game. Here we go. Kick, getting ready. It's up, and there's a flag. That's going to be offsides.
Yeah, there was definitely some offsides players. It looked like there were a couple of them on the kickoff right there, and the ref quickly throws the flag. Very interested to see how does Brownsville Rivera, how does Coach Chavez and his team respond. They came out, they had a terrible very first play to start the game as they lost tons of yardage, and they played it very safe coming out. But we saw the first play was empty, so it seemed like they were going to play very aggressive in the passing game. Let's see what they come out with here, as the last time it backfired on them, but now they're in a 7-0
I mean,
deficit.
it's a good point that you made, Jonathan. We saw them come out, right, and they were looking to spread the field. They get stopped right away, and then in the plays that you figured they would have to try to spread the field to make up some big yardage, they bring it back into 9 formation. So interesting coaching strategy on that one. But like you said, you know, you learn from your first series, you come out in the second series, and you have an opportunity to start it up again. So they will get the ball at the 30-yard line with a penalty. And they'll take that. They won't have a re-kick. So Rivera Raiders will have the ball at the 30-yard line, 1st and 10 for them. 8:20 left to go in this first quarter. Again, live audio coming to you from valleycentral.com. You can check out the video about an hour after the game is over. Hand off to running back. Running back pushing forward. That's number 17. Doesn't get much, but that's Daniel Rueda.
And Rivera really didn't have anywhere to go. They line up in a double tight end formation, 1 tight end on each side, evenly distributed. And it looked like there was some good blocking up front, but Scheneman, again, as he's coming up to make penetration, forces the runner to run into his guard. Had he been able to miss his guard, it looked like there was a big gap right there. We saw a couple of weeks ago, Harlingen South was shredded down the middle by a couple of plays, and it looks like Rivera is trying to here tonight.
I believe that was Browns on veterans that was doing that. Here we go. 2nd down play. Again, a handout to Rueda. Rueda this time will lose 2 yards on the play, and so just talked about the opening of those C's. They were shut right there on that play.
Yes, right here on this play, there was absolutely nowhere for him to go. As we watch on the replay, just good fill right there by the linebackers. And again, that's number 34, Scheneman, making a big stop as his defensive line is absorbing all the blockers, and he's just coming in free, making easy tackles.
I mean, he's just pretty much running a spy. You're just watching that running back quarterback, and I mean that could be about his 4th or 5th tackle of the night already, just in 2 short series. 3rd down now, 9 to go. Ball on 31. They're going to spread it out this way. Looking to pass downfield, complete pass. Number 12 out to the 45 will be tackled about the 46-yard line of the Harlingen South Hawks. Goes number 12. That's Augie Martinez. What a passing catch there.
Yeah, right there we see the receiver. He goes out and he just finds the little gap as they had one player coming out into or going towards the sideline, absorbs some of those defenders. He just sits there in the gap, gets the completion, and then he takes it for even more. As he caught it right around for 1st down territory, and then he got himself another about 6 yards, and they get into Harlingen South territory now.
And they do, and they went back to that spread offense that they started out with, which we thought was going to continue. Made some big yards. Oh, that's a bad snap. He's going to pick it up, though, but he's going to be tackled for a huge loss. Is number 13, the quarterback. That's Danny Elizondo. The snap looked like it went just totally right of him, Jonathan. It wasn't even close to his wheelhouse for him to be able to grab it.
Yeah, it looks like as the snapper was snapping the ball, it hit one of his thighs.
Got it.
And because it was taking a weird spin to it as well. A little high and to the right of the quarterback. Just a bad snap. He wasn't very far. His shotgun stance is only about 2 yards away from the center, but that was enough right there on that one to make him lose about 10 yards.
So they go from the 46 on the Harlingen South side back to the 42 or 43 of the Rivera side. Here we go, scrambling under pressure. Flag on the play, though, and he's going to go ahead and scramble forward, get about 4 or 5 yards, but the Whitecap's the one who threw that flag, and let's see what the call is. Holding, it looks like it's going to be, right?
It was a holding call, and it looks like it was deep into the territory, so I believe it'll be a spot foul, and they'll lose a significant amount of yards, making it 2nd because it'll repeat, and a ton.
That's a lot. A lot of yardage being marched off against Browns Rivera. So I just want to paint this picture for you. They started off on the 46-yard line of Harlingen South Hawks. Now the ball is on the 35-yard line of the Rivera Raiders. So just in that, Jonathan, that's 20 yards lost in the past 2 plays. So 2nd and 28 coming up.
And again, they started this drive from the 30, so it's really...
They're almost back to it. 2nd down, 28 to go. Looking downfield, pressure from behind, lets it go. Connects with the receiver up to the 50, back across midfield. Goes number 2, and he's just pushed out of bounds barely. But that's Edward Rubio on the reception, gaining back some of those yards they had just lost.
It looked like he was taking it up the field. It looked like a big play, but he did teeter on the sideline. The referee does call him out. We cannot see on the replay because of the South players, but it looks like the referee did call it at about the 49-yard line on the Rivera side.
Yeah, just a little gap in between the legs, and you could tell where he did step out of bounds. So great job to our instant replay cameraman over there, George Banda. All right, here we go. 3rd down now, 15 to go. Ball on the 49-yard line. Gain back some of those yards, about 13 of them. Still a long way to go. Looking left, pressure coming. Good block by the fullback. quarterback scrambling downfield, gets close to the original line of scrimmage, does Danny Elizondo, but it's going to ring up a fourth and about 9 yards to go, Jonathan.
And the punt team does come out here as they did a good job of getting back to the original. Remember, they went all the way back 20 yards, and so they resulted in a 4th and 9. So it's almost a victory just that they were able to get to that point with only 2 downs. But just too much for that offense to overcome there, and so they will have to punt it to Harlingen South. It looks like the wind is going left to right, so we'll see how it affects this punt here.
And the speedster Darren Bettis, number 11, is back to receive this one. If he gets a chance, he's running under it. He does get it at the 15-yard line. Slips 1, 2 tacklers. Nope, can't evade the second one. Shoestring tackle. He'll be down about the 19-yard line.
And there he's brought down by number 21 of the Rivera Raiders. That is Edward Velasquez.
That was a good-looking punt there. You know, very well done. Spiral up in the air. Gave his coverage team good time to get downfield.
He had a good amount of hang tang as we just see it just hanging there on the replay. And then we see a nice shoestring tackle as he just grabbed the heel of Bettis, and he just did not let go. Bettis spun and spun, but the grip on the heel just never let go.
Could have saved some big yardage there. Here we go. 1st and 10. They're saying it's down at the 20. It's really about the 19 and a half. 4:30 left to go in the first quarter. Harlingen South ahead 7-0. Jimmy Morton now. 2 wide receivers. He's in that shotgun. He's going to keep this one. Follows his blocker, which is his tailback. And he's going to gain 2, maybe 3 yards going up the left side of that offensive line.
And here we see Rivera. They have a lot of players here in the box, and the fullback or the running back is not able to get a good block on the linebacker, and the linebacker just comes up and makes the play. Good job right there by the Rivera defense, only allowing 2 yards. Had he broken that tackle, there was really no one behind him for about another 6 yards. So good job right there by the linebacker.
Well, I tell you what, Jonathan, playing that kind of defense, so everybody up in the box, you know the South can stretch the field. And so watch out for that long slant or even that post pattern that they can make happen. All right, timeout Harlingen South here. Maybe they see some of that defense they want to check on real quick. 3:51 left to go in the first quarter. 7-0. Harlingen South Hawks lead the Rivera Raiders here at Bogus Stadium. Big game tonight. District implications, right, Jonathan? Couple teams doing really well here in the district. San Benito pulling off that huge comeback last week against Harlingen High. Los Fresnos looks pretty decent as well. So this is shaping out to be a pretty tough district.
And I think this weekend we have another matchup of 2 undefeated in-district teams. I think Brownsville Veterans are undefeated as they face San Benito tomorrow night.
Right. That's a good one.
So it'll be a lot of big games still being worked on through this district as teams are still fighting for first place. Harlingen Cardinals trying to recover from the loss last week in the Battle of the Arroyo. And then here we have 2 teams that look like they'll be fighting for the 3rd and 4th slot.
I mean, it's exciting. I like this 14 format in the playoffs because you get to have these storylines, you know, and so these 2 teams here, you know, there's still a lot of football to be played. You know, they could get on a hot streak here and even move past that 4th, 3rd, maybe in a second. So we'll see what happens. Here we go. Trips right, and when they do this, they go to the back receiver, and they do again. Penalty on the field, though, right in that area, trying to go to that old faithful formation of theirs there. That's something they did with 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, we see them. It looked like Rivera made an adjustment there. I'm not sure if maybe they kind of countered a little chess match right there. Before the timeout, they came up and everyone was right up in the box. That time, the formation was kind of a 3 deep in the coverage, and so it looked like just a little coaching chess match going on right now through the timeouts.
Number 11.
They're going to call that
I think just an illegal formation.
Yeah, illegal formation. It kind of looked a little bit weird, and I think they didn't get set on that. But, you know, you had 3 wide receivers. You can go back and check out the video later, but they're lined up just right behind each other. So just an odd kind of trips formation. They usually run it with 2, and most of the time when Harlingen South runs that formation, they throw it to the back receiver. The front receiver becomes a blocker, and it almost turns into a little bubble screen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen them use that in many games. It's been able to break through for them several times. That time it doesn't, and then it gets taken back by the penalty. So they are deep into their own territory now.
And they go 4 wide receivers now. Morton looking little slant up right up the field, kind of bringing it back to the inside. In and out, Jukes number 8. That looks like it's number 8, James Carpio. Trying to get some of those yards back, but he only gained about 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, it almost resulted in a big play as Rivera was rushing 5 players, and so this offensive line, they set and they release, but a few of the outside defenders were able to curl around as the catch wasn't the cleanest catch. It made him pause a little bit, giving the defense enough time to catch up. and make the tackle before it was too big of a gain.
I mean, I have to ask a question. I mean, I think Rivera right now, the way they're setting up their defense, they're giving up the long ball if they take a shot downfield, but yet they've been going for these, little two-yard passes here. 3rd and 15 now. Maybe they will stretch it this time. Same trips formation. They have one behind the other, right side. Morton looking. Pressure's coming, heavy pressure. He's just going to get this ball away. Question will be if they're going to call for intentional grounding. It looks like it may have crossed that line of scrimmage, but this is a 4th down, and this is a dangerous punting situation, Jonathan, because the punter's probably going to be right up on that goal line.
Yeah, if there's any mishap, he drops the ball, it
Right.
could easily turn into a safety, or if it were to be recovered by Rivera, it could turn into a touchdown right away. But we saw what Harlingen South was able to do earlier with the short field. It looks like Rivera will now have the short field on their
That's
side. See if they're able to punch it in now with the short field.
Well, we did have a punt block here. I can't remember which team it was, but I think it was last week, as a matter of fact. So anything can happen. The punter is right about the 2-yard line. It's a good snap, though. And punt is up, and it's a great-looking punt. Spiral. It lands down about the 48, and it rolls. Did it hit the player? Number 2 picks it up. He's at about the 35, 40, 42. And I tell you what, from that position, that was an amazing punt by the punter for Harlingen South.
Yes, it does get all the way across the field into, he ends up being caught at about the 38-yard line. Gets a decent return considering he picked it up off a fumble, as I believe he tried stopping it and lost it. Nice high punt. Doesn't hang very long, but it does go pretty high. And then he gets a nice little roll, causing the Rivera player to lose it.
I'll tell you what, Rivera now has a somewhat short field to work with, right? So they're at the 43-yard line. They're going to call it 1st and 10 now. 2:13 left to go in the first quarter. They go back to that I formation. Handoff. Number 17. That's Daniel Rueda. About a gain of a yard on that play.
Yeah, right there it looked like he might have taken it a little too far wide, as his blockers didn't make it very far to the left side before they were met by some penetrating defensive players from South. I think the play would have been a little tighter. He could have cut it back in and had a chance, but Harlingen South's defense was all over that one, as he only gets about 1 yard after the strong left side run.
Yeah, and again, number 21, Javier Olvera, we called his name a couple times, was right there on that good tackle. 2nd down, 9 to go for the Raiders. They go back to the I formation. Fake pitch, then they end up pitching it again, and Sheneman is all over that one. That'll be a loss of about a yard on that play. Was that a busted play mistake, or was that design, Jonathan?
It looks like it may have been a busted play, as there's just some good front side blocking one-on-one, but they missed, as there was. It looked like you would have wanted to come off of the initial defensive lineman to block the linebacker. No one does that, so I have to say that was a missed assignment, as Sheneman just comes completely untouched. He's making a lot of plays, but they're making it easy on him, as he's been unblocked on several of these.
And in that situation, you give, like you did earlier, you give credit to the defensive line, because that means that they're keeping the offensive linemen off the linebackers, and that's what you're supposed to do. 3rd down now, 10 to go, under 50 seconds now. Looking right, pass complete, big hit. Caught by number 2, Edward Rubio, and he's just hammered as he catches that football.
That is number 8, James Scarpio, as it looks like it's just a quick hitting read and just a beautiful tackle as he puts his head down right across the defender's chest, right on the ball. Just well executed tackle, and he's coming full speed as he's coming back from the safety position. So most like it did hurt a little bit for that receiver, but the receiver does a good job of holding on to the ball, doesn't fumble it, doesn't drop it for an incomplete pass. So it'll be 4th and 2. One of the teams calls a timeout here, so we got to wonder if they're going to maybe think about going for it.
Or some kind of trick play as well. I tell you what, that number 2, Edward Rubio, he's one of the biggest guys on the field, and so he was able to take that hit. But I tell you what, folks, especially young ones out there, you want to know how to tackle. That was a picture-perfect tackle there. You know, we talk a lot about now leading with the head, and of course head-to-head, and of course we used to have a spear. You know, you couldn't spear people. That was a great form tackle right there. Put his shoulder right in that midsection. So, you know, go back after, watch the video. About, I would say, about 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and you'll see a really good, clean hit there.
Well, you said number 2, he's a pretty big player. We do see him. He often lines up in the tight end position. It looked like right there they had him in the slot. And so when he's coming across the middle, he's not just a small guy. He's not the thickest of players, but he is tall. He is a strong receiver for them.
All right, now time for a punt. And the timeout does go to Harlingen South. So they burned 2 timeouts here in the first quarter. They're down to 1 left. Punt snap is low, End over end punt. Down, lands at the 25, down to the 20. Going down at probably, I guess, about the 17-yard line as Darren Pettis, number 11, was back to receive. Doesn't get a chance to this time. And so Harlingen South's going to end up right about where they were last time, right about that 17, 18-yard line.
And it looks like the Rivera defense, they're challenging. We've seen, you said Harlingen South does have the ability to throw deep. We haven't seen it be consistent throughout this season. So I wonder if Rivera is just counting on the inconsistency of that deep vertical game for Harlingen South, as they've been challenging them, lining up everybody in the front, stopping the run game of Harlingen South. But we saw in that first drive they were able to convert on the pass plays. And so kind of an interesting little match within what the coaches are. They're basically forcing Harlingen South to go into that deep vertical game.
They are, and this would be the time. The safety sucked up really close. But again, Alegarza now handing off, and he almost broke past that linebacker line. If he would have, since the safeties were up, he would have had some space to run.
Well, that is one of the problems with having everybody up front, is if they do all get blocked good and the running back is able to beat a one-on-one player, he can take it deep into the, maybe even go all the way to the end zone. But that time the defender is able to bring him down. It looked like he was breaking away, but the defender did a good job of holding on.
Yeah, that was Christian Martinez, number 25 for the Raiders, just linebacker, doing a great job of keeping him from that safety level and keeping him from a possible really long run. So good defensive play there. Hey, that's the end of the first quarter. We're switching sides now, and so we're going to start right with a new 12 minutes on the clock. And again, it's 7-0. Harlingen South leads. They do have the ball right now, a 2nd and 10 situation. Ball is on the 23-yard line of their own. And so they're going to work here, trying to make something happen. 2nd and 4, I'm sorry. So kind of a little back and forth game so far here in the first quarter. Not a lot of action. The one score came from a very short field that Harlingen South was able to get after some mistakes by Rivera. Here we go. 2nd and 4 now. I formation. First time we've seen this formation. That means that they have a fullback in there along with the tailback. Going to hand it off. Oh, and it's off the shoulder of the fullback. You see that? Off the shoulder of the fullback, fumbled. Tailback able to jump on it, though.
Yeah, you said it's a formation that we haven't seen that often. He turns to pitch the ball, and it looks like the quarterback is a little fast or the fullback's a little slow, breaking away, and he just hits him right in the shoulder to hip area, and it results in a fumble. And so now we've seen a couple of drives stopped for Rivera because of some mistakes. That one doesn't turn out to be that big of a mistake, as it only brings them back about 5 yards. But now they have a deep 3rd down, as it'll be 3rd and about 11. They had 2nd and about 4. Now it's 3rd and 11.
They've got that trips right, that same back-to-back-to-back. Let's see what happens. They've been going to that last receiver in the back before. Delay of game. So you talked about a mistake. We've got another mistake coupled on top of that. And so now we're going to push them back even further. And Harlingen South kind of just unraveling a little bit the past 2 series. Now remember the last series ended up in a punt where that punter was right on that goal line almost. So if they don't get this ball out, they're going to have a very similar situation.
Yeah, we saw in the very first drive, it's just well-executed offense, but then since then, Harlingen South has not been able to get the ball rolling.
And Jimmy Morton, that trips left, and they do go downfield pressure. He's in the end zone now, comes out of it, though, and he's going to be tackled for a loss. He's going to be tackled out about the 8-yard line, it looks like, and Rivera Raiders have really showed up very strong on defense on this series, and this time the punter will be at the back of that end zone making that punt.
Yeah, we've seen them on several 3rd and long positions. They come bringing the pressure. That time they bring 5. The last drive before that, they also brought 5 on the 3rd down and long play. So it looks like Rivera is going to challenge Morton to make they want him to make the quick read and get rid of it, I believe, or they're going to get him for the sack.
And I tell you what, now this punt is going to have to go into the wind. So it has to be a well-executed snap catch. It is. Punt is up. It's a great spiral punt. Won't get the distance they got last time. Gets a little bit of a Rivera bounce, actually. And, wow, Rivera's going to have the ball at the 36-yard line, Jonathan. And so this is the shortest field of the night for either team. And Rivera gets a really nice a gift. I wouldn't necessarily call it a gift because they worked hard on that one. And that defense showed up. Now they get the ball back with just a little bit over 36 yards to work with.
Yeah, but they haven't seen them get themselves down the field with any consistency, as both of the last 2 drives were really stopped because of some big mistakes by the offense. I'd like to see what they can do if they're able to play just well executed ball. Let's see what this offense and Coach Chavez's Raiders are able to come out with.
Well, I will tell you what, they've been most successful out of their spread formation. And they started, but they handed off to their running back, number 32. And that's a new running back for the Rivera Raiders coming into the game. That's 32, Mario Mendez.
And he looked like he was a little bit bigger runner. As he comes in, they pull guards playing that power ball to the right side. But again, the South defenders are filling right behind these pulling guards quickly, making tackles from the backside.
2nd and 8 now for the Raiders. 10 minutes left to go in the second quarter. They trail 7 to the Harlingen South Hawks. Shotgun formation. They're going to pass this one complete to the slot receiver. Slot receiver down to about the 26-yard line. Going to be really close to that first down marker. And I think they just may have it.
And there we see Augie Martinez. He makes the quick catch as he just fills the gap in the defense. It looks like they are playing either a very soft man-to-man or maybe even a zone. But it seems like, just like you said earlier, the offense seems to be working better in the spread formation as they're able to attack this Harlingen South defense.
Yeah, and I think in that spread formation, what they do is they spread out the strength of the box of Harlingen South. So, hey, that was a 3rd down. He didn't make it. It's about 4 inches short. It was what the Whitecap called. So 3rd and 1 now. Crucial play here for the Raiders. Shotgun formation again. This time quarterback keeper up the middle. He'll have enough for the first down. He's tackled hard by Shinneman. But number 13, Danny Elizondo, should secure the first down, and he does.
Here they just sent it. Just looks like the quarterback's calling it for himself. South does blitz. They almost had a chance of making the stop, but the running back does make the play on the initial blitzer coming off the edge, and then the quarterback gets the first down, but he's met hard by number 34, Shinneman, again coming free on the tackle.
Danny Elizondo now shotgun formation, looking right. Heavy pressure coming. He gets outside, has to avoid the Whitecap referee as well. He'll get upfield in a gain of about 3 or 4 yards. That could have been disastrous as he was evading the blitz coming in, and he almost ran right into the referee.
And here we see on the replay just a free defender coming through. He does break the contain. He might have been able to beat the edge had the referee not made him hesitate, because he almost broke the right corner of the edge. He could have gotten himself another 8 yards. It looked like there was just about half a second between him and the defender.
2nd and 6 now. 4 wide receivers are going to spread it again. Quick pass to the right, complete. That's a first down, 10-5. Will he make it? And he stretches for that end zone, and they're going to call it, down at the 1-foot line. It looks like it looked like he was throwing up that touchdown. The other arm just started waving.
Just great effort right here, and a great read by the quarterback as he just turns and sees what a great connection between him and his receiver. As we said before, this number 2, he does the pop-up, but it does look like his shoulder hits down right before the goal, and it looked like he almost made the very athletic play just reaching in for the end zone.
And that's number 2, Edward Rubio. This time keeper Elizondo, touchdown Raiders, as he is able to keep it. He spins off the corner, off the edge there, and that's in for 6 points. So just like that, Rivera's back into it. 7-6 ball game, waiting for that extra point.
And here we see just a nice zone blocking scheme right there. A lot of times in the run game, they have been pulling and causing and giving little gaps for the backside of the defense to come in. That time they just block straight forward and runs right into the end zone on the right side. And here we see the snap. The snap is good. It looks like the kick is up and good. And so we now have a tie ball game, 7-7 with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left here in the second quarter. Rivera is finally able to answer back. They had the very short field, and this time they're able to capitalize. So we've seen both these teams capitalize on some short fields. The defenses have held up when they've had to go the distance, but a couple of times the offense and the special teams have put them in bad positions, and now we have a tie ball game, again with 8 minutes and 5 seconds left.
Well, I tell you what, recipe for success on the offensive side of the ball has been short field to work with. Harlingen South took a 43-yard short field, made it happen. Now Rivera gets a 36-yard short field, makes it happen. All right, hey, a big thank you to KHTN's teams here today, including Shane Strubart, Maritza Gallaga, Adriano Dominguez, Roland Ansaldúa, Iris Montemayor, Joe Medrano, Sim Vargas, George Banda, Javier Araiza, Pat Guajardo, and the KHTN co-ops doing an excellent job. And, you know, these students are a part of the Media Tech program at Harlingen High School South, and they get to get some great opportunity, hands-on training here, bringing this broadcast live audio right now to you at valleycentral.com. Thanks for listening. And you can go check the video out about an hour after the game or so. You'll get to watch the video along with this audio that you're hearing at the moment. So 7-7 ball game here. 8:05 left to go in the second quarter. It's shaping up to be a pretty evenly matched match here in this place tonight. Homecoming for Harlingen South Hawks. Rivera looking to try to be the spoiler. Very important district game here for these two teams. And here we go. Kickoff ready here for Rivera. Back to receive is Darren Perez and Alec Garza, number 25 for the Hawks. And the Hawk fans are getting a little bit loud here. We get ready to kick off. Line drive kick, and it'll go over the head of Alec Garza, and that'll be a touchback.
As it bounces right there at about the 2-yard line and just goes right over the head of the receiver, so they'll get it back at the 25-yard line. We said that both these teams have had their defenses stand strong when they've had to defend a long field, and now Harlingen will have to go 75 yards in order to get it into the end zone.
You know, I cannot remember the last time, or I think it's only maybe once or even twice at the most, that South has actually tried to stretch the field and thrown a ball further than, I don't know, 3 yards downfield. So definitely a time to see if you have that in your pocket here. 1st and 10 now. Ball on the 25-yard line after the touchback. 7-7 ball game. Jimmy Morton now hands off to Alec Garza. Alec Garza just has not been able to find room to run tonight. He'll be tackled right at the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, right there we see it's just a read play right there going to running backs going left. He is following some blockers, but the defensive player that had some penetration, that's number 6 for the Rivera Raiders, that is Abel Moreno. He gets some penetration just diving in the legs of the offensive tackle, and then as the running back's trying to come along the side, he just trips over the pile and is not able to get anything more than about half a yard.
2nd and 9 now. They're going to spread the field for wide receivers. Quick shot to number 1. Spins. Can't get away with the defenders. Bobby Castro, as there's about 3 or 4 gray uniforms there. And it looks like it's going to be a gain of maybe 1.
Yeah, here we see number 25. He does not make the tackle, but he does cause him to rotate back inside into where they have multiple defenders. Also a great job by the corner of breaking free from the blocker. So he was forced back inside where the rest of the defense was there. Good team defense right there.
3rd and 8 now. Ball on the 27-yard line. Harlingen South again faced with a crucial 3rd down and try to get their backs out of that end zone. Here we go. Jimmy Morton now in the shotgun. He's going to look right. He wants to pass. He finds, nope, out of bounds. It's just a little bit overthrown. Intended receiver was Jason Martinez. Bring up a 4th down. That punt unit comes on the field again.
Another 3rd and long, and again we see Rivera rushes 5, putting a little pressure. They weren't right in his face, but I think he had that internal clock going in his mind as he knew they've been coming with pressure on 3rd down. He makes the good read, just does not throw the ball very well and misses his target.
4th down now, and the punter's been doing an excellent job tonight for the Hawks. And this time he gets a really good snap. A bit of an end over end. Should get a good Hawk bounce, and it does. And so they're going to down it right about the 41-yard line of the Rivera Raiders. And doing pulling off the kicking duty, Sean Muniz for the Hawks.
It seems like some of these kickers they've had some trouble going in that direction of the field. Doesn't look like the wind is that strong. It's more of a left to right, but they seem to be struggling kicking towards that direction of the end zone. So now the Rivera Raiders, they're going to have to go about 59 yards in order to get themselves into the end zone. We saw the last drive they executed well, making their way, but it was a short field. So here we see what they have, a little bit longer field. Still some very good field position.
All right, here we go. Elizondo, he's going to look downfield again. He wants to go deep downfield. He has a receiver wide open. Wow, he just overthrows the receiver. That's number 1 streaking downfield, wide open. That's Sammy Orive. Overthrown football, could have been a touchdown, Jonathan.
He had a number 11 on the left side for an easy completion for about 7 yards. And I was wondering why he didn't look that way to throw it, but then quickly realized he had a player wide open down the middle as he just gathered and threw, but he just put a little too much on it, a little out of the reach of his receiver, but almost a big play right there for the Rivera Raiders.
That was a pretty pass, a great route, just a little bit overthrown. So Elizondo now, kind of a pistol formation, running backs behind him, goes for that little quick outside pattern, and he connects with number 11 receiver. That's going to be Chris Zuniga. Gain of about 6 yards on that one.
Very lucky right there is when he threw the ball, it just looked like number 21 of the defense was not quite ready for it to come out that fast, but it went right into the path where he would have been able to make an interception on the ball. He just didn't react fast enough. But had he made that catch, he could have easily gone all the way for the touchdown for the defense.
3rd and 5 now. Elizondo's been playing well, throwing the ball. This time he hands it off. We have a flag on the play. That's usually in the area of holding. The running back on that carry was number 28 for the Raiders. That's Rivera.
And we'll be waiting for the call. Let's see what the referee says. It looks like it is on the offense, as it'll be declined.
Number 7-2. Offense, penalties declined.
4th down.
You know, Aaron, several times when they've run the ball using pulling guards, this defense has just done a great job of filling in from the backside, right where all these gaps are left by these pulling offensive linemen. Defensive players are shooting right through and making these tackles.
You know, you watch Rivera, right? And from what I'm seeing is that their spread offense, going downfield, trying to stretch the field, has actually gained them more positive yards than running the football, yet they revert back to that run over and over again. And like you said, Harlingen South's run defense has just been non-stop, stopping every single series. So this punt, the punter somehow gets it away, and it's a great-looking punt. It's going to go down probably about the 25-yard line. Pulling out punting duties for Rivera Raiders, number 14, Chelín Martinez. And man, he can get that ball way up there.
Yeah, the beautiful kick right there. I was a little concerned. He stepped right where there was only one rusher, and so he steps right into the rush, but it does not affect the punt at all, as it just goes high and deep in the air. Kicks it out of bounds just outside of the 20, so it'll be at the 24. Long field again. We have not seen these offenses execute when they've had longer fields, but here comes Harlingen South as Coach Wilson and his Hawks will get another shot. And it looks like they broke the huddle with too many players on the field.
Yeah, they did. That's going to be breaking the huddle with too many guys in that on the field there. So that's going to go against the Hawks. It's going to push them back. So right now they're at the 24-yard line. They're going to be penalized.
There is no flag.
Oh, no flag. They wave it. They're going to wave the flag. So, hey, no flag there. I did make a count, and there was 11 on the field. So I think it was one of those almost type deals. So 1st and 10 now. Ball on the 24. 6 minutes and 4 seconds left to go in the first half. It is 7-7. I will note Harlingen South only has one timeout remaining. Rivera has all 3. Jimmy Morton now only one receiver to his right. Double tight end set. This is a quarterback keeper. There's nowhere for Jimmy Morton to go. Looks left and just ducks down in the middle. Goes down.
Yeah, here we see there's 5 up front, and then there's 2 linebackers behind. As soon as he gets the ball, he starts trying to run, and there's just nowhere for him to go as Morton just dives forward to get it back to the original line of scrimmage.
2nd and 10 now for Jimmy Morton, this Hawk offense that, like you said, aside from that very first series that was only, a 43-yard series, I believe, field to work with. They just haven't been able to get it going. Again, what I said for the Rivera Raiders, stretching the field has been, looks like their best option. Same thing for Harlingen South. Trips right. They like this little real quick dump out to the right. This time they're going to try to go downfield. Morton scrambling. Goes downfield. Receiver number 2, a little bit of shoving action. No flag on the play. Intended for Jason Martinez. And had he got that in stride, that could have been a big play right there.
Yeah, as the defender did fall, and he was coming up, but he just drops it himself as he's coming to the ground himself. But just a little bit of bumping going on, but no flags there. It looks like both players were making a lot of contact, but referees don't call it on anyone. There was a penalty right around where Morton was tackled.
Oh.
And they will call roughing the passer as he does take a hard hit. He's limping a little bit. As he was running off the edge, there was a linebacker that came and filled hard, or maybe it was a safety, but they just came off the edge hard, and I followed the ball once it was released, but it looks like he took a very hard hit as a new quarterback comes in for him, and he goes off to the sideline.
Yeah, and this is something we haven't seen all year long, so we don't even know who the backup quarterback is here in the booth because we haven't seen Morton come off the field like this. So I'm sure Harlingen fans are really hoping that he's okay. See what they're going to run out of this is see, oh, we do have a quarterback. He's just kind of hiding in there. It looks like number 3, Abram Gutierrez. And he'll hand it off to his tailback. and gain of about 2 yards on the play. So number 3, Abram Gutierrez is the quarterback now in for the Harlingen South Hawks.
Yeah, Gutierrez was not the player that came in replacing Moore, so he must have just switched from receiver to quarterback. The player coming in turns into receiver as he comes out in an I formation, and they run the ball. They get some good yards as it is 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, I think I was following the players that came off the sideline, and I was like, hey, he didn't go to quarterback. I thought they were running a Wildcat-type offense, but like you said, he probably just moved over from the slot receiver position. So number 3, Abram Gutierrez, is now the quarterback. 2nd and 7 now. 4:20 left to go in the first half. Handoff, Alec Garza has space this time. A couple blockers downfield, gets past the first down marker, down to about the 47-yard line. That's going to be his biggest run of the night.
Nice play right there as they had tight end to the right, fullback left. All the offensive linemen come up, one guard pulls, so does the tight end coming all the way across the formation. He just finds some gaps, makes his way. We've seen several times where the tackles have not kept the blocks for Harlingen South to make the plays. This time, no penetration, and the pulling guards are able to make their plays as well. Nice run by Harlingen South.
Abram Gutierrez comes in, gets a first down. At his first crack at this series. Handoff fullback this time. Fullback left and right, up the middle. Gain of a couple of yards for number 21, Javier Olvera.
And here we see another run play. We still have not seen the backup quarterback come in. But nice play right there as the defensive tackle just beats the guard coming across his face and just forces the running back to cut in before he's ready. We see Morton running around on the sideline. It looks like he is trying to get himself ready to come back in. But for now, we still have our backup quarterback in. We have 2nd and long.
3 minutes left to go. And remember, I said just a couple minutes ago, 1 timeout remaining for Harlingen South. I formation now. Going to toss it to Ale Garza. Garza's head of steam running downfield here. It looks like he's going to gain maybe about 8 yards on the play, 9. Be about a yard short of their first down marker.
Interesting play right here is he lines up toss, but then both he and the fullback read cut back in. So it's usually a toss play hits far to the outside wide, but as soon as he catches it, he saw the hole and he wanted to take advantage of the hole on the interior there.
3rd down and 2 now, and I tell you what, the South Hawks, since the switch at quarterback, have kind of been moving the ball downfield, and really what's been the big difference is Alec Garza has some space to run on this series. 3rd and 2 now, 2:25 left to go. Trying to get that defense across the line. I think they did, right, Jonathan? I think that's going to be offside or encroachment on the defense.
Yeah, it looks like they crossed over just a little bit early, as it looked like a player on the right side with his hand down moved forward just enough to get himself across the line.
Offside.
And yes, we will get an offsides call on the defense.
Another first down.
First down, so a new quarterback comes in, 2 first down. It looks like this offensive line, though, has really been the part that has stepped up. Before, we weren't seeing a lot of big gaps. They must have told themselves, our quarterback's out, we have to really put it in gear. And they have stepped up so far on this drive. Let's see how it continues to go for them.
Look in the defensive line, and check this out, Jonathan, here in this next play. But there's a lot of linebacker numbers down there. That's not defensive lineman numbers. So we'll come back to that here in a second. But that could have some play right now. Here we go. Handoff, Ale Garza, right side, space to run, 30. Man, he just bounced off about 2 or 3 defenders there. He's going to gain about 6 hard-gained yards. And he was just running with some purpose on that one.
Well, he does a great job of gathering after the contact. He has a bit of a high running style, very similar to what you'd see like DeMarco Murray doing with the Cowboys. He makes the contact, but he's not running forward really hard, so as soon as the contact comes, he's able to keep his balance really easily. And if the defender does not continue to drive their legs and they just try to hold on, he has the ability to just continue to run forward.
And again, we mentioned earlier that Ale Garza has been a standout wide receiver for the Hawks, right? And he also plays defense. But he's been brought in to play that running back, especially since the number 4, Steven Rodriguez, who's been the primary running back for the Hawks, has been out with injury. Here we go. Passing this time. We see a pass, and it's completed down to the 24-yard line. That should be a first down. That's the first pass for Abram Gutierrez, and that's going to result in a Hawks first down, I believe. Yep.
And it is a nice pass as he puts some zip on it, and not just a soft throw right there, but a good catch by the receiver as it was defended well. The cornerback just came up really fast on it. They may be reading that this new quarterback isn't going to throw deep, so they may have been just waiting for him to dunk it right there.
Well, they're going to spread it out this time. Gutierrez looks to pass, right? And he steps up in the pocket. Good awareness. He's going to take himself to the 20-15, down to the 10, and he runs over a defender down all the way to the 4-yard line. Goes number 3, Abram Gutierrez, and adding a spark to the South offense since he's come in.
And here we see they rush 5, and then they had man-to-man behind. So all he has to do is just get past the rushers, and all the defenders are looking at the receivers. Number 7 on the defense, I believe he plays linebacker, saw it late and comes and saves the touchdown, forcing him to cut inside into the defense. But it could have easily been a touchdown had number 7 not had the awareness to look back right at the right time.
Well, number 3, Abram Gutierrez, has come onto the field here for the injured Morton, and he's moved him right downfield. Saw him pass, had an efficient pass there. We're under a minute now, and they're going to have to call a timeout. There was a lot of confusion on the field. That's the thing. Okay, so no new quarterback on the field, don't get a lot of reps, get some confusion. So final timeout for the Hawks, 7-7, 56 seconds left to go, and Jimmy Morton, I'm just going to notice, is jogging back towards the huddle. So I don't think he's going to get back in yet, but he's going to give some encouragement from the sideline.
Yeah, new quarterback, which also means that there's a new slot because they moved him into the quarterback position. Someone else came into slot or wide receiver for him. And it looked like just there were several backs. They were all looking at each other trying to figure out, okay, where am I supposed to be now? And he was going to call the timeout early on. They decided to try to let it play out and see if they could line up correctly. But then one of the running backs saw that the time was running out, and he just called a timeout for him. Smart play because it's 1st and 5, and you do not want to make mistakes in the red zone, as you only have 4 downs to get into the ends, or 3 downs really, because it depends on if you want to go for it on 4th.
Yeah, Morton's just limping a little bit there, and looks like his left foot or ankle is a little bit tender, and so he's going to remain on the sideline. And I'm sure they're just going to give him probably half time to break, and at the same time, you don't want to break the momentum Abram Gutierrez has come into this ball game. So 1st and 4 here, really a 1st and goal. That was their last time out. Gutierrez rolling out left, and he's going to make this to the end zone. That's a touchdown. Abram Gutierrez on the play action rollout, and he just kept it himself. Has a little bit of speed to burn, and I don't know if he was even touched, Jonathan. He sprinted to that cone. Wasn't touched, at least he got to the goal line. So touchdown Hawks makes it a 13-7 ball game.
Some people may have been worried as they see a brand new quarterback coming in, but he shows to be very capable of leading this offense, as we do see the long drive now for this team, and they do capitalize with a touchdown at the end.
Big touchdown here for Harlingen South Hawks. Again, out of timeouts, under a minute left to go in the first half, and able to punch it in. So 50 seconds still remain on the clock here. And, of course, Abram is now the holder, since that's what he had been doing as a backup quarterback. So it is up, and it is good. 14-7 now. The Hawks take the lead here late into the first half here at Bogus Stadium, as, again, a quarterback change due to an injury to Morton has sidelined him. And, we talk about Abram Gutierrez here. First time I've seen him run quarterback. First time you've seen him, Jonathan. Yeah, that was pretty impressive there. He just came on, commanded the field very well. Looks like he can do it with his feet. Impressive on the one pass we saw him. And more than anything, like you said, Jonathan, he was able to command the offense and get it downfield.
Well, he was playing receiver, so we know that he does have legs under him.
Right.
We didn't know if he was going to be able to pass, as he had very limited opportunities to pass. But the one pass that we did see, he had a lot of zip. He threw it with confidence. It was an easy completion to the right side short. So we'll have to see, will he be able to attack vertically if he continues to stay in this game. But just an excellent job driving down the field.
I just want to take a second here, and of course, I think we've mentioned Coach Lanny Wilson for Harlingen South, and the head coaching job that he's done there, and really just trying to build this program. And of course, on the other side, of historic coach, in Tom Chavez, been around for a very long time in Valley football. Was in Brownsville for a long time, went across to Mid Valley, and then back here in Brownsville. And so you have a kind of a rebuilding program. You have a historic program, or in the coaching staff, if you will. And just a good football game here tonight. So that'll be recovered about the 36, little squib kick there. 14-7. Now, looking at the clock, and we know that the Raiders have all 3 timeouts left. So they could really make something happen here, Jonathan. It's a relatively short field to work with.
Yeah, the squib kick did not seem to result in what South was most likely going for, as the second line of the return team was able to grab it. They did bob a little bit, but he picks it up and gets about 5 more yards. But he had caught it about the 35, so now they'll have it or he caught it about the 30, so they'll have it about the 36. Pretty good field position with very little time on the clock left, but like you said, they have third downs and clock stops on first downs.
And Danny Elizondo was starting to stretch the field last time, and he'll start off doing the same thing here. Looks pump fakes. He's got some time to work with, evades a couple of tacklers. He throws it downfield a little bit high, and he's hit hard as he let that one go, Jonathan. I wasn't tracking that. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw that he got hit hard, though.
Yeah, he did get hit a little low, so we'll have to see what he did stay down. We'll see, watch the replay. He does a great job of keeping alive, and instead Strong gets the ball off, but on the replay we see him. We cannot see the defender. We can see the upper part of his body, so we know he got hit pretty low. So I don't know not sure if it was a knee or maybe a little bit of an ankle, but he gets himself back up and stays the game. Tough kid right here.
That was a big hit. Looks like it was on the side of his knee, and so I was a little bit worried there of a knee injury. But he pops right back up, number 13, Danny Elizondo. And I tell you what, I think if you give this guy some time, I think he can beat you downfield. And so he comes out 2nd and 10 now, 37 left to go in the first half, 37 seconds that is, and he wants to go downfield. Let's go. Oh, in and out of the hands of a Hawk defender there. I think the defender had fallen. He let it go, and he got up at the time the pass comes in. Check it out.
Here we watch the replay. They did give him a good amount of time. Looks like two receivers ran into the same area with one of the receivers slipping. So it left two defenders guarding one in that area. I think the receiver got open initially, so he thought he had it, but again, another receiver ran into his zone and fell, so it didn't work out for him.
3rd and 10 now, going to pass downfield. Connects with receiver number 1. That's a first down play there. The receiver on that is going to be Sammy Orive. So that'll stop the clock briefly. 25 seconds left, though. Haven't called the timeout yet.
That play has worked out for them several times here as they're just running the comeback route in the gaps on this defense. Just does a good job of reading there, as we've seen him do several times tonight. Makes the catch, first down. But they will call timeout.
So what would you call that defense, John? I mean, it looks like it's a zone defense, you know, because what's happening is where they've had some successes right in that pocket underneath the safeties. And we've seen a couple of slants. Oribe's been there a couple of times, and they're finding just a soft spot right behind the linebackers in front of the safeties there. And that seems to have been working. They have some receivers open. I'm surprised they don't continue hitting that, because that's an exposed area of that defense.
What is a very soft zone, as they're almost giving everything up underneath. They line up right in front of you. It almost looks like a matchup. It's hard to tell if it's man, but it's got to be zone with the amount of gaps that are left here, as we've seen tonight. But it's just like they're giving up that little 8 to 10 yard catch every time. So we got to see if they can make an adjustment here, or they continue to play it safe, as time is on their own side.
Elizondo looking downfield again. He's going to get out of the pocket. He's done that well so far. He's going to fall forward. This is going to be a gain of 9 yards, it looks like. So the clock will continue running down to 16:15 now. Timeout offense. So that'll bring the second timeout.
And it'll definitely zone, as all the defense is looking back at the quarterback. So once he took off running, they were all coming after him. So we know it's not man-to-man, because if it was man-to-man, they would be watching the receiver, not the quarterback. So that answers our last question.
There you go. Got it. First down and 10 now for Rivera. They're down at the 43-yard line. 14 seconds left to go. They are down 14-7. They have some time to make something happen with one timeout left. 14 seconds on the clock. Like you said, that little 10 to 12-yard pass has been open. Just that soft zone, especially right behind the linebackers in front of the safeties, has just provided a gap for Rivera to sneak in there. And let's see if they keep going to that well here. I would say, another 10, 15 yards, and they're in field goal position, Jonathan?
Yeah, we've seen the punter. I'm not sure if he's the kicker, but we do know that the punter has good range on his kicks. So I'm not sure what the distance they need, but they have a very capable punter.
Pass to the outside. What an awesome pass and catch there. That's a first down again, that little 10, 12-yard area. And this time the receiver gets out of bounds, so that'll stop the clock.
Again, we see the very soft zone coverage as he's able to make the catch. But what a great throw, as he did have a defender right there just going into the coverage. He slips it right past him. Easy first down.
So this is interesting, Jonathan. You know, they get out of bounds, stops the clock at 9 seconds, first down. They call a timeout.
Very interesting. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe they saw something that they didn't like, and being where they are, just interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, okay, say the clock stops. So you can throw, hypothetically, of course, you can throw the football and say he doesn't get out of bounds. Say he gets another 8 yards or so, 10 yards, 12 yards, whatever, you can call a timeout. Now you get your field goal unit on the field. You either have to get it out of bounds here, or it has to be an incomplete pass, or else the half is over. No chance whatsoever to get your field goal unit on the field. Oh wait, there's a tee going down, Jonathan. The tee going down at the 39-yard line, which is going to make this a 49-yard kick. 49-yard kick. Little bit of help, quartering wind, if you will. But this will be a 49-yard field goal attempt with 9 seconds left. Number 14, Chelin Martinez. It's a fake. Elizondo pops up. He runs to the outside, and he'll get out of bounds. Second down.
It does not result in anything for them as he gets basically to the line of scrimmage, but perhaps worth the risk in their opinion.
And guess what? They're going to put the tee down just a couple yards ahead now, and this time they're probably going to kick it for sure. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Well, it looks they didn't get anything on that one, so it's still going to be a 49-yard field goal for number 14, Chelin Martinez. The holder is Elizondo. It's a good hold. The kick is a line drive, and it's going to be no good. It kind of just goes left there. So that's the end of the first half. 14-7 remains the score here at Bogus Stadium. Harlingen Southhawks do lead the Rivera Raiders, and Rivera is going to look to come out here in the second half. And what's one thing that Rivera can cover at halftime that's going to give them an opportunity here in the second half?
Well, I think they may want to aggressively more attack in that short passing game, as it looks like Harlingen South is just wanting to bend and make sure that they don't break. They're really